What's up, everybody? It's Johnny Bronto here with HauntScene. It's Tuesday night. It's 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time.
Yeah, think about that for a second.
We're doing some shows on Thursdays now, so I had to make sure I'm on the right thing. With me, as always, my lovely co-host, won't be here on Thursday, Melissa Lukeck.
Hi guys, what's up?
I'm going to have to replace her for one night.
I might be. I never said I wasn't going to be.
On Thursday?
Might be. This Thursday?
Yeah.
Oh, no, not this Thursday.
You got to work.
No, I got to work.
Yeah.
Never mind.
So, you are where you should be. You're watching America's favorite haunt show on Tuesday nights at 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Please do me a favor and share this out. We got an awesome guest here. Really, really excited about this. I will make sure that I unmute him.
Please.
We're going to go ahead and do that right now. And that's going to be Mr. Joey Simpson.
What's up, Joey?
Hello. Hey. Hello, everyone. How's it good to see you again?
Yeah, you too. Thank you for joining us.
I almost feel like we had a pre-show. We do pre-shows for our shows on Instagram if you're not following us. And we had a very, very good pizza discussion on
It was
on
great. Oh, it was awesome.
So so make sure you're watching that. But
it got me a little hungry. I won't lie.
I know.
And just say, make sure you follow Crave It on Instagram.
Yep.
Yes, please do.
It, because it's amazing. It'll change your life. You'll love it.
Yes.
So Joey, how's it going, man?
Pretty good, man. First of all, very excited that I'm currently here in New York. I reside between New York and Nevada. During haunt season, which my haunt season starts in about July, we start building. So I leave Vegas and I come home and I stay here from July till about the early November. And then I go, once it starts getting cold here, I go back home. So I'm happy that the weather here is starting to warm up with the pandemic and everything. We came back home a little bit earlier last year and we ended up just staying because Vegas was completely shut down. There was nothing going on there. So we got to stay here, spend some more time with friends and family. So I'm excited that I'm out of the cold weather and it's starting to feel like spring. And that means summer is coming and that means spooky season is coming. So nice. I'm very excited.
Yes, we are too.
Yeah, and we're going to see you at Transworld, sounds like. That's going to be awesome.
I am so excited. Yes. Huge bummer about last year. I was flying home the night before to meet my partner and some of the build design team here in New York, and we were getting ready to fly out to Transworld, and it was literally canceled. Yep. So I ended up flying home anyway, and we just did online ordering together and all that, but it definitely wasn't the same.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, there are, virtual conventions are cool, and I think that there is definitely a place for them, but there's just no substitute for walking the floor.
Like actually being there. It's been about 3 years since Johnny and I have been there. We went in 2018. Yep.
Yeah.
It's an experience, it's a business, trade show, but it's such a community now that you look forward to seeing the people and the vendors and everything, and it's just it's great.
Yeah.
If people watching, if you guys have never gone, you have to definitely go and check it out for sure.
Yeah, it's the place. Yeah. Awesome. Okay. All right. Well, we've got stuff.
Yes.
So we're gonna focus on and talk about the haunt and horror stuff, but we obviously can't talk to you without talking about the band.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yes. Well, I am the front man for masked metal horror band Kissing Candice. And we've been together since probably 2012. I formed the band in about 2011. And pretty much we wear masks and we have a really cool stage show, lights and fog and props. And I talk about it so much that it's kind of especially this month and last month, we released a brand new video and a brand new single. So it's been so much press about that it's just kind of burned into my head. Right. So this is kind of nice doing, a balance of spooky stuff. But yeah, obviously because of the pandemic, we can't play shows and, so we just been releasing music and all that. One really cool thing that happened is I linked up with Jason Baker and the great Tom Savini. I don't really have to.
I've got a picture of that. Let's show
that
up.
Hey,
there it is.
Yes, that is actually from his house. I partnered up with him and his partner Jason, who did The Fiend from WWE and Corey Taylor from Slipknot,
Oh wow,
and
I didn't know that.
yeah, they made his current mask. I kind of reached out to them and said, hey, took a shot in the dark and was like, hey, listen, I'm in a mass band and would love to work with you guys. And it ended up, long story short, I ended up, connecting with them, and I got invited to Tom's house, and
That's cool.
which turned from kind of just going to meet them and throw ideas around to getting a tour of Tom's
Oh,
house,
my
which
God.
by the way is, if there was house goals, that is my dream, is to have a house like him.
Wow, yeah.
Yeah, it's 4 levels of just madness. That's the best way to describe it. It's just madness.
I would love to see Tom Savini's house.
So
if you go to YouTube, I think last year, 2019 or 2018, somebody did a tour with him of his house, and it's beyond his studio room with all the masks in it.
nice.
It's such an overwhelming feeling to walk in there and see some of these pieces that are iconic. The molds from Fluffy from Creepshow, Dawn of the Dead, Texas Chainsaw. He's just got all this great stuff laying around. And actually, in that photo right there, that's the penis gun from Dusk Till Dawn that he let me hold and try on, and he was telling me how they got it to work, and it was just like, this is really happening. I'm holding a prop from an iconic movie.
That's cool.
While the man
cool.
is, this man that I grew up, that scared me, that is responsible for me loving horror movies, practical effects. That's the man. So it was great to work with him, and I have a great relationship with them. So here's the mask. We could dive into it for a minute.
Oh, I gotta ask a question about the tour. So
Go for it.
Was the highlight of the tour? I gotta ask 2 questions about this. One,
Yes.
holding Tom Savini's codpiece. Can you tell me what was going through your head at that moment?
Well,
and did it fit?
It fit. So the funny thing is that here I am overwhelmed. I'm in his theater room. I'm in all these rooms. And then we get to the top of because his house is just stacked. Like, just think of level after level. Again, if you go to the YouTube video, they go through the entire house, which, I got to do. So I saw all the rooms. And prior to that, I watched that video, but there's nothing like seeing it in person. And
wow.
I got to with him about talking about haunts and forget about it. Then he was really intrigued, and we went off on a whole thing. And he did a haunt once in Pittsburgh, and he was telling me all little secrets and things like that. But so anyway, rewinding to your question, was I happened to say right away, because I'm holding all different things, and I'm like, you don't by any chance have the gun from Dusk Till Dawn? And Jason, his assistant, was like, it's downstairs.
Oh, he wasn't wearing it?
No. So by the time we got downstairs, Jason dug it out of the closet and literally handed it to Tom.
Why would that be in a closet? Why wasn't
it was in a closet?
Like an acrylic case, like with lights and like a plaque.
You know what?
Sex machine.
Yeah, and you know what? Tom's like, I'm not sure. And then Jason's like, it's in your closet. So Jason goes down and gets it, and he hands it to Tom. And now I'm looking at the man from Dusk Till Dawn, my favorite character, Sex Machine, holding the piece, and he's telling me all these facts about it, that they loaded it with flash paper to get it to work, and how on the set of Desperado with Antonio Banderas that they were supposed to use it, but they couldn't get it to work in that movie. So it makes a quick cameo where they take it out of the guitar case that's filled with guns, and the girl says something like, I don't even want to know what this is for, and throws it back into the case because they actually couldn't get it to work on the set. So here he is talking about all this stuff, and then he's like, here, check it out. And here I am just holding this piece, and I'm putting it around my waist, and I'm lifting the thing up, and I'm just like, this is great. That's so something cool. That was never on my bucket list, but it was added, and then it was taken off because that's not only did I meet him, but I got to hang out with him, spend the day at his house, go to dinner with him. And then the best thing is he designed my mask.
That is cool.
That is pretty cool.
Good segue. Yeah.
Yes, this is Aunt Donna, designed by Jason Baker and Tom Savini. She is 100% silicone.
Wow.
Now, the concept of this, there's two pulls of this mask. This is the first pull that I revealed. The second pull I haven't revealed to the public yet, but she will be revealed later on this year. So I kind of, going from my old Aunt Donna to the new Aunt Donna, I kind of wanted to let them run wild with it, but only giving them some bullet points. Like, listen, when you're thinking about Aunt Donna, think about Buffalo Bill, think about Freddie Mercury, think about David Bowie, think about Leatherface, Mick Jagger. Like, pull all this inspiration and just kind of go with it. And I just gave them little kind of hints. So I only saw two photos of it. I saw the mold of it, and then I saw when it was done. As far as the other mask, I said, I don't want to see that mask until I'm in person, because I flew out to Pittsburgh about 2 months after I was at Tom's the first time for a mask fitting. I tried it on, we made alterations, and I get to Tom's house from the airport, and both of the masks are in garbage bags, and they reveal them. And the other mask, I have to say, is so cool. The paint job on it is amazing. I can't wait for the public to see it.
That's awesome.
But getting back to her, so my buddy Justin, the best way he described this Aunt Donna look is she's a psychoerotic man-eater. That's the best way he could describe it. So when I'm in full costume, I got like a fur coat on and like some kind of corset with big high boots, and I'm done. I really immersed the Aunt Donna character. Like, there's no, you could see the picture right there, kind of. That's from the set of the
one at the
video.
bottom left.
Yes, the bottom left. That's the current look.
Nice.
So yeah, it's everything that I wanted to be and more. That they nailed the look, the feel. Even when I'm putting the mask on, it's just there's new mannerisms that developed with this Aunt Donna that just kind of happened when I put it on. And now the real bummer about it is the mask was made, we did this entire album. We have, all new costumes. And then just as we get done with everything, the pandemic hit. So we couldn't play any live shows with our new look, with our new music. So, we've been putting them out through music videos and new promotional pictures, but I haven't really, quote unquote, took this new Aunt Donna for a spin on stage yet. So I'm super excited to see how she's going to control me on stage when we play,
Right.
Because you put a mask on, you become a different person.
Yeah.
You do.
You become the character, and it's very true. And, taking a page out of the band Slipknot, which is one of the biggest mass metal bands in the world, they say, when you put on a mask, it kind of, it takes over and it does what it wants to do. And, it's true. Wearing masks for so long and going through different mask cycles, you develop a character, and before you know it, you're this character when you put this mask on, and it's great. And that's why it's kind of nice that I could sit here with her here and talk as myself and not have to worry about what she's going to say or what she's going to do when I'm wearing her, So it's really
awesome.
cool. So it was a dream come true to work with him. They completely nailed this. And now I've worked with CFX. They had my Crispy Doll mask, which, by the way, everybody says, did I rip it off from The House That October Built, the movie?
Is that this one at the bottom left?
No, that is the same variation of the one in the top right.
Got it.
But with a different paint job. Okay. But there's 2015 to 2016 are one cycle. I'm wearing a their Crispy Doll mask, and it has
porcelain from like the House of October Built.
Yeah, that's yes.
Yeah.
Got it.
It has our logo on the forehead.
Oh, cool.
I reached out to them. They designed. They had that design, and then they just put the logo on the forehead, but nothing was customized with the mask. So going to these two masks that you see here, this mask is the same, again, just a different paint job. This was designed by a guy named Connor, which he also sculpts for Trick or Treat Studios. He did like their Leatherface.
Awesome.
Yeah, Connor DeLess. He's a madman. He's a pure genius. He did that entire cycle of masks for me. So I couldn't be happier. And actually, one of our biggest fans and a friend of mine, Austin, he has every pull of that silicone mask that that I ever made. He bought them all from me, and he's got an amazing collection of my masks in his
cool.
little, yeah. So that was designed by Connor. And then, like I said, not that I didn't want to work with Connor anymore, but just like you work with different producers and stuff, you got to work with kind of different mask makers. So I, happen to work with the legend Tom Savini. I'm very close with George from Immortal Masks.
We had George on the show. George is so awesome.
A few months ago.
And I love and I love Tabitha and Josh from CFX. Like,
oh my God,
the whole mask community is just amazing.
They're great. And CFX for the time, it was my first silicone mask that I used in the band for that album cycle. That mask, they're great quality masks. I absolutely love CFX. It was just. That mask is great when you wear it and you beat the hell out of it, maybe for 1 month or 2 months out of the year. But I beat that mask for 3 or 4 months at a time on tour. I wore that mask on Mayhem Fest, which is the outdoor festival in 105-degree weather, performing on stage, every day. Mm-hmm. So it started to get a little wear and tear around the mouth and around the nose that I had to patch up. But that mask held up for my first silicone mask. I absolutely love CFX.
Awesome.
They do replicas of mine. If you request it, they will do the logo on the forehead.
Cool.
And then I went to I had the pleasure of going to Immortal Mask Studio in California. George took me on the whole tour. We sat down. We were going back and forth about possibly working together on my mask. And then I kind of had to put that on hold because not for nothing, but I have a chance, maybe a once in a lifetime chance to work with Tom Savini.
Right.
I'm not going to pass it up. Nothing personal. It's just the guy's a legend and he's a hero,
right.
But in the future, I'm definitely going to work with George because the stuff that we had kind of throwing back and forth was amazing. And I love Immortal Masks. I own 3 of their masks. I own the bug mask. I own the pumpkin mask. I own the mask with all the holes in the side of the face. Their masks are top quality. Silicone, CFX, Shattered Effects, and Immortal are top of the line for silicone masks.
Nice.
Love them.
That's cool. That's what I love about doing these shows.
Yeah.
Same. The more we talk to people, the more we realize the circle gets smaller.
And everyone is kind of related.
George is an absolute sweetheart.
He's so nice.
He's really cool.
I could text him anytime if I have a question or something about it, and he's right there. And you know what? They really blew up. Like, I feel like Immortal is on that tier where they're the kings. I don't want to, not putting any other company down, but they're up there, the designs that they crank out. And no matter what, George is still that same guy where he'll get right back to you. The customer service is great. I'm looking forward to seeing him at Transworld. Great people.
Yeah. Now that we've had a lot of these people on the show, it's like, I get to see you in person now. So we're excited about that.
Yes. And you reconnect and you talk, and it's just like it's so nice.
Yeah,
it's so nice.
You go to Sugar Fire and you eat some barbecue or something like that. Can't wait for that. Yeah. So we got Ash Costello here on the right hand side. New Year's Day. That must have been kind of cool to work with her or tour with her.
Yeah, we've done a handful of shows together, a half a tour together. She's the queen, the scream queen, as you want to say. She's great, and again. We connected on a level because they have that, I don't want to call it anything a gimmick, but she's got that whole spooky vibe. We're a mass band, but then when you really pull it apart, she loves haunted houses. She loves spooky stuff.
That's so cool.
That's even better.
We'll have to get a hold of her.
We'll have to get her on too, right?
Get her.
Who are you? Click.
Who else is great that you would never think is a complete beast within the haunted house industry is Johnny from the band Winds of Plague. Johnny from Plague Productions. He does LA Hayride.
Oh, cool.
He did Murderco, which was the
I've heard of that.
Yeah, the escape room, like the most violent, gory. He was the owner of that. Now works.
Did they actually do that one in New York?
I don't know. I know it was in California because that's where he's based out of. He does a lot with Not Scary Farm.
Okay,
Not Scary Farm. I've been there. It's fun.
Yeah, he's also with right now 13th Floor. That's who he's currently working with. But yeah, Johnny from Winds of Plague, Stitch. He is the keyboardist for Mushroomhead, another mass band. He does Chippewa Lake Slaughterhouse in Ohio.
This is
And
awesome.
it's actually in an old slaughterhouse. And actually, when we toured with them in 2018, we did the Summer of Screams tour. And on our days off, him and I went and visited some haunted houses.
Oh, that's so
We
cool.
did Colorado, 13th floor in Colorado. We did Fear Factory in Salt Lake. It was great. It was absolutely great. There was a venue. It was called the I think it was like the Beach Club or something. It was right in Virginia Beach on the boardwalk, and above the venue was a haunted house
That's cool.
in Virginia Beach. So I got to get the name of it. I forgot, but the guy was nice enough to open it up because he was coming to the show and give us like a tour. Same thing with 13th floor and Fear Factory. So the metal world and the horror community and the haunt community it's all it's one big family when you strip it away.
Right.
Which is great. But yeah, Johnny Plague, he's great. I would definitely reach out to him because he's a master. Some of the sets that he's designed and stuff, he's absolutely great.
Yeah, we've actually got a couple friends here in the chat. Our friends James and Patricia from Haunted Honeymooners. They do a metal show, and they're big into haunts. So that's
awesome.
Like right up your alley. I'm able to have them.
Yeah, tell them to reach out. Send me a message. I'd love to connect them.
They're good people.
Yeah.
We also got people here. Transworld. Science Behind the Scare. What's up, everybody?
How's
Johnny,
it going?
where's my mask? That one's cool too. Well, I have a mask, and I wanted to ask you something about the mask here. And I was showing this off earlier. Hey, Melissa, can you put this on?
Sure.
Yes.
That's what I love about Melissa. Melissa, get in this coffin. She just does it.
Get in this coffin.
Best co-host ever. So put this is the Bubba mask from.
It's so weird. I love it.
Why am I drawing a blank now? From Nightmare Studios, duh. And do you feel different?
I do.
Do you feel like you want to kill somebody?
I feel like a completely different person.
Yeah.
So
bang your head on the desk or something.
Yeah, bang your head on the desk a couple times. I'm just kidding. You don't have to.
Yeah, you don't have to do that.
But obviously, like, go ahead and talk.
Hello. How's it going? What's up, guys?
So my question to you is, I have a CFX Rocky mask. It's a big demon mask. That was my first silicone mask, and then I bought this mask, which I love, and I can't talk in them, let alone sing. So I wanted to ask, because I watched a bunch of your videos, and here you are, and I think most of the videos I think I watched today were like in this this kind of look right here.
Yeah, we were talking about that earlier. We wanted to know how.
How do you do that?
The masks. So, for instance, if you go back to the other pictures where I'm with Bill Moseley, that was at Rock and Shock, the horror convention in Massachusetts. It was a convention during the day, and then at night it's a big concert.
Oh, cool.
That's actually me right next to him on the right.
Oh, with the porcelain mask. Yeah.
That's the porcelain mask.
Nice.
So that mask is female fit. So when I put it on, it actually distorts the face, which is kind of cool because it morphs. So that mask took a lot to get used to because it was so tight. It like pulled my nose down, but you kind of power through it, and you learn certain ways when you're screaming how to put the microphone against your mouth and kind of push up. And then if you go to the mask that Connor made, that's actually sculpted. Again, I kind of let him kind of go wild with it, but he took a bust. I had my face casted, which, by the way, if anybody's have ever had a life cast of their face and didn't have an anxiety attack, my hat goes off to you, because I did it one time and it was the worst experience ever. And I will never do a life cast again where they put the shit on your face.
Wow.
And it's absolutely horrible if you are claustrophobic.
It's like what, House of Wax?
Yeah, exactly. So I think I had to sit for like 20 minutes for it to cure, and it was the worst 20 minutes of my life.
Oh my God.
But so that mask was a little bit more fitting to my face because he sculpted it off my bust. So I had a little bit more. But the funny thing is when he did that and he did the sculpt, I was a little heavy at the time. So when I lost weight, the mask became loose a little bit on my throat. So I had to actually put some foam inserts in the head to tighten the mask up. And then with the new Aunt Donna from Jason and Tom, they kind of did a universal sculpt, but the mask is very heavy and it's very big, and they did that on purpose for the reason that it's not so much like human. It's almost like Barbie doll, kind of like the neck is kind of long, the head is abnormally large. So it gives it this weird vibe when you see me in person, and the people that have seen me during photo shoots or, the music video, they say that my appearance is very large because the mask itself is very big.
Right.
So this mask actually is the first mask ever where the entire side of the mask is cut out. My ears actually stick through, so I can hear. All the other masks had artificial ears.
Yeah, like the little.
This is the first one that my ears are through, so I could hear a lot better. And this mask, talking wise, I mean, I've done interviews in it. I haven't done a live show, but it's very comfortable and it's very tight. It's very tight on my lower jaw, which is good because number one, it infuriates me and pisses me off and it makes me uncomfortable. So it makes me that much more angry on stage. And second of all, yeah, oh, absolutely. That's part of it.
Because when I wear my demon mask, sometimes it's frustrating. You're like, why don't you fit perfectly?
Yes, yes, and that brings out the character. You get very annoyed.
That's fine.
Can I just say
Sorry. She's just gonna leave the mask on.
You like it? I think it's cool.
Please, I like it.
Okay,
it's a good look for you.
But is there yes, like a backstory to the mask and Aunt Donna? Like, is there a significance to the name?
So a shorter version of it is, if you look at the photo that's up right now of all the way on the right hand side, that is the first pull of that Aunt Donna mask, which is just very plain. It's very beat up, and I like to call that that's before Aunt Donna. I like to call that very confused. Like, I wasn't sure. I didn't have a character. I was just wearing a mask.
It's like pre-Madonna.
Yes, pretty much. So we were out on tour and I started playing around with different color makeup that I would do on my eyes. And I'm looking in the mirror and I had red and blue and I did white around my eyes, and I just start putting on the mask, and I'm looking at myself in the mirror, and I'm like fixing my hair, and I had this scarf, and I put this scarf on, and all of a sudden I started becoming kind of like, it was almost like it could have been a scene out of the new Joker movie where he's like staring at himself in the mirror and he's making faces. I'm like staring at myself in the mirror, like fixing my hair, and all of a sudden I started becoming very feminine. And I'm like, and I'm talking to my band members, and I'm like, guys, I feel like I'm like somebody's weird aunt, like some sort of like somebody's like cracked out, weird, psychotic aunt, like an Aunt Donna. Mm-hmm. And like the name just fit. And for some reason that night I walked out on stage, and it was like I was a mixture of like Freddie Mercury with my mannerisms, with the microphone, and like Mick Jagger, the way he moves so feminine. And it was just like, that's the character that I needed. That was the icing on the cake. So it went from like, the red and blue eyes, and then I got another pull of the mask, which I did I called it like a granny 70s green, like a granny green with like a faded pink. And then I changed my outfit to like different dresses I had with scarves. And then the other one that you see in the corner, the orange and the black, that was a Halloween edition that I did because we played a Halloween show. So it's the orange with the black. And again, it's just very, very feminine. And if you go to the other set of photos, you see up in the right-hand corner, I have the orange with the black, and then the orange and black kind of, armbands with the scarf. So once Aunt Donna was born, it was just kind of like an incline of me just letting out what was inside, which was the feminine mannerisms, the way I move, urinating myself, a lot of slobber. One girl described, it was on a popular YouTuber. It was like, name bands that you'll never forget, that done like the grossest things on stage. And somebody mentioned me, that the first time she saw me, I was pulling globs of mucus out of my mask and pulling it and stretching it and like sucking it back up. And that's what happens is like, I'm spitting, I'm constantly sweating. So I develop like this slimy mucus and I pull it out of my mask and I'm playing with it.
Oh man, that's so rough, because when I take my silicone mask off, it's just wet.
Yeah,
like it's just a wet, like whatever space, and I'm like, I don't want to touch it for a while. I'm like, you just go and dry off for a little while, and it's such like a film of just nastiness. Like,
it's exactly what it is. It's a film. It's like a paste. Yeah. It's disgusting. And for me, I don't wash my masks. I don't clean them. Like this one smells good because, you know, I haven't sweated in it aside from like music videos and stuff. But like my stage outfits, you know, the band, we don't wash them. We literally take them and hang them in the trailer. And some nights they're still wet from 3 shows ago and they stink. And again, our hardcore collectors out there, they buy these outfits from us and they put them in shadow boxes. But when they receive them, they stink. Like my buddy Gavin, he has a room dedicated to KC memorabilia. He calls it the KC Cave. And I had a chance to visit it, and walking in this room, it's so overwhelming because he's got 50 or 60 different variations of our masks.
Wow.
He's got posters. Yeah, if you look it up, I'll send you guys a link, and it's overwhelming, and it's so awesome. And when I say overwhelming, I mean I walk in this room and I see posters that he bought off of eBay that I never even know that still existed. Yeah, like there we have a really cool following. We have really great fans that are friends, that are family, that take care of us. And, you know, before silicone, we did, before there was even masks, if you look at the picture in the top center, that we used to do, the original concept of KC was going to be makeup and blood, you know, so we would cover ourselves with bruises and cuts and do blood. But by the second song, we would sweat it all off. So we would just look like kind of like normal people in a way, you know, like just bloody shirts, but all of the time and effort that we put into the looks, like even the bottom right, like that, you know, I would go on stage like that. And then by the second song, it would be all off, you know? So our guitar player, Dreamer, he showed up one night to rehearsal with those clear impersonator, like bank robber masks, I call them.
Mm-hmm.
And we put them on and we were just like, this is the right feeling. Like it just feels right.
Mm-hmm.
So like I had one on, I cut the mouth out, and we did like 2 or 3 tours with them on. And at the time it was like, okay, are we trying to bite off of Slipknot and all these mass bands? But as we progressed and we put all of our energy into our appearance with the masks, and we got custom masks and et cetera, you know, we're not trying to copy any other band. If anything, we're trying to hold the torch for the mass bands. You know, we want to walk with them. I want to be next in line, you know, like with the great theatrical bands like Kiss and, you know, all that. We just want to be next in line. You know, we're not trying to be the next band. We're just in that community of mass, you know, musicians. So it's definitely been an evolution with masks and a learning experience about character development, you know, the do's and the don'ts of wearing masks. And you know, what's funny is it reflects a lot with the haunt stuff with our actors. And it's a big thing is character development, you know, like you don't want to see, you know, you in a really expensive, you know, CFX mask or a mortal mask and this great, you know, outfit. And then all of a sudden you have on Nike shoes, you know what I'm saying? Or, you know, things like that. And the keyboardist Stitch from Mushroomhead, he said something to me that I'll never forget. Years back, probably 2016, we were getting ready to go on stage, and it was pre-masks. It was all bloody and stuff, and I had on one of those green wristbands, you know, like to identify that I was in a band.
Mm-hmm.
And he caught me right like a couple minutes before we going on stage, and he looks at me and he goes, "Yo," he's like, "Monsters don't wear wristbands." And I'm like, "What?" And he grabbed my arm and he's like, "Monsters don't wear wristbands." He's like, "You're head to toe decked out. You look great, amazing, you know, and you're going to be on stage and there's going to be photographers and they're taking pictures. And here you are fully immersed in this character. And then you got a green wristband." He's like, "Womp womp." You know, it ruins that illusion.
Right.
So it's funny because now every time we're about to go on stage till this day, we all get in our huddle and, you know, we're all, you know, right there, and we all look at each other and we're like, "Monsters wear wristbands," you know, just reminding ourselves to just double check, make sure you're in that character. So I tell the same thing to the actors at the haunt. I'm like, "Listen, guys, you know, people are paying money to come in our haunt. They walk in the room. They don't want to see a dark room and your face glowing from a cell phone.
Oh man,
put your cell phones away."
Yeah,
you know,
to the
that's the
choir.
worst.
I have huge
That is
pet
the
peeves
worst.
about haunts. One of those is, you know, not being prepared for your scare and plain clothes. Those are the two.
Yes.
Two on my list.
you're dirtied up, dirty up your hands, dirty up your neck. Again, my buddy Justin that came in from Vegas, he came in to build for a couple of weeks, and then he came out for the last couple nights of our haunt, and he was like busting my actor's chops. He's like, yo, put some black paint on your neck, black out your hands. What does it take to take some black paint? And it's just funny because you don't realize that that's a make or break deal for a character. Is just the littlest detail is that extra. And I love that. And I bring that from the stage to the haunt. And that's one thing that I tell the actors. I'm like, don't scare and reset. If you need to take a drink of water, keep your water bottle off to the side. Like, be ready to scare, be ready to be your character. And when you show up, just make sure that your hands are dirty. If your costume only comes up and your neck is showing, just take a little bit of blood and just put it on your neck, just dirty yourself up. Right. It makes it that much better.
Yeah, it's the littlest things that can either push a haunt like over the edge, like, oh my God, this is amazing. Yeah. But once you break that immersion, like once, you might, there have been some haunts where it's just like you have to recover from that and get back into it. Like, honestly, I think the best haunts are the ones that are just like a blur. Like, do you remember when we did Haunahoochie? Do you remember anything after the beginning and the middle?
I don't. No,
it was just a blur.
It was because it was so immersive, and it threw us right in, and everything was happening at once that we barely remember it.
It felt like we were being run through like cattle.
Basically,
it was just insane.
And it was just go after scene after scene.
I've seen some of their videos on YouTube and stuff. They look like they do an amazing haunt. And fun fact is if you look one of their YouTube videos, I don't know if they still have it, but the shotgun suicide with the shotgun, my buddy Justin from Vegas, he actually designed that mechanism with the blood and the water that comes down when they.
That's the warm-up.
It was intense. There are things in that haunted house I've never seen before in my life. It was really intense.
I hear great things about it.
That is the haunter's haunt. That is the haunt. If you got to go there, like back when a couple of years ago, we were like, we want some street cred. They're like, you got to go to this haunt. So
everyone mentioned Haunahoochie, so we went and tried it. So
that's on my list of places to go and actually go. I don't want to see a behind the scenes tour. I want to see the show. I want to check it out. I want to go. And I love that because, like I said, we start building my haunt in July, and it's July, August. So by September, we try to be done, even though it's never done.
Right.
This way, come September, we can hit the haunts that are open maybe a week or two before October when we're not open, because that's the hardest thing, is to visit other haunts when they're open. So what takes us so long with my haunt, just real quick to tap in, is it's in a barn on a farm, a 60 by 90 barn. So every year we have to put all the walls up. Every year the layout's different. We have to put all the walls up. We have to run all the power.
Oh, so you completely break it down every year?
Oh, every year we walk into an open barn where they store their tractors, their trucks, everything for the winter. Mm-hmm. So comes the nice weather, they pull everything out. We go in there, we have our layout, and we're like, okay, here we go. Put the facade up, put the sections up, the walls, the exit signs, everything goes up. Everything comes down, everything goes up. Wow. So that's why it takes us so long, which is beneficial because every year we can literally start from scratch, which is great. It's never the same really cool show. Yeah. So
this is the Schmitts Farm Haunt, schmittsfarmhaunt.com. Definitely check that out. I just went to the Instagram and I pulled some of the images out here, and I saw a lot of like familiar stuff.
We try to, we don't go necessarily for a theme. One year we tried to be the Melville Asylum. I love asylums, but if you don't have enough stuff to make it an asylum, there's only so far you can stretch stuff to be asylum theme. So the prior manager and one of the designers that no longer is on the team, the idea was great, the concept was great. It was executed, but I'll admit it, be the first one to admit it, that if we had more medical stuff and things to make it more of an asylum, great. Like Penhurst Asylum, they're an asylum. Like you want to see an asylum, go to Penhurst Asylum. They do an amazing job. Brighton Asylum, great. You know what I'm saying? Like those are.
We did that a few years ago. Yeah, that was fun.
One of my favorites. There's
so much ridiculous. Like the part where you're walking over the plexiglass and somebody's like getting you from underneath.
God.
I've never seen anything like that. Yeah.
Genius.
Shout
Pure
out to Rich.
genius.
And the first part when we went in
and shout out to Rich's mom too,
and all that stuff. The first room that we went in, when they transitioned into the next room, we were like in this
gas
room,
you
and they gassed you, and it was like shaking and everything. Very immersive.
It's great.
Really cool.
Yeah,
that's another haunt that I can't
really
remember
cool.
any part of because
Me
from
neither.
beginning to end,
Me neither.
every character hit their mark. Everybody, there was no plain clothes.
People were grabbing us. Like this girl grabbed me off the bed, and I flung. You remember that?
No, I don't.
You remember that? It was right in front of you. She pulled me.
Oh, yes. Okay.
Yeah, it was great. It was great.
They put on a really good show. So for us, it was like we tried to do the set theme, and it got us through the season. It was good. We had great promotional videos for it, but us as designers and the team, it was just we wish we had more stuff. So we went back, now that myself and my partner have taken over full control, we went back to it being because the Schmitts farm has been around for, I want to say, 20 plus years. For a while they were the Haunted Mansion of Melville when I started working there as just a scare actor, and it was just a basic haunted house theme. You had your bedrooms, bathrooms, foyers, kitchens, which was great. And then we kind of, as it progressed and things got more advanced and the older designers kind of cycled out, it's just Schmitts Farm Haunt now, and we have 4 main sections, and we do like a clown section, a medical section, then we'll throw like a curveball, we'll do like maybe like an industrial wasteland kind of section. So it's nice that we have that option to change it up. It is stressful because every year we really try to top the next, just like every haunt wants to do.
Right.
So that's why, thank God for Transworld, we shop. So like some of these photos here, and we're one of the only haunts on Long Island, which there's a great variety of haunts on Long Island. And the cool thing is that for the most part, most of us are friendly. So it's friendly competition.
See, that's very important when you're in a small region.
It very much is. Just to name a few that I want to name is Chamber of Hell, which puts on an amazing show. Doc, his name is Robert Frankenberg. He's a genius when it comes to haunts. They put on a good show. If you guys ever make your way up to our haunt, I would point you in their direction right away. They put on a great show. But we are the only haunt on Long Island to have actual 2 separate attractions. We have the haunted house, and then we have a haunted corn trail, which is outside.
Oh, I love the corn trails.
Which
Those
is
are
to the
fun.
right.
Yeah.
The picture to the right, that's built. That's the beginning of the facade right there. That's the actual corn trail, which is great. But yeah, like some of the stuff going on in these pictures, that's a ghost ride body that I was redoing. Bottom left, that's just a pumpkin scene that I was working on. Top left, that's one of our slaughterhouse redneck scenes. So I enjoy, starting out as an actor, literally wielding a chainsaw and chasing people. And then I started to do like the door where I greet people because I'm a very social person. And then the old designers and manager of the haunt, Phil, his name is, he's the old dog, but he's the brains behind the freak show, as I like to say. And as he always said, he noticed that I took a liking to the behind the scenes stuff. I had a knack for makeup and cool things, so I would come aboard and help the makeup artist with some blood and getting some of the characters together. And then slowly I was part of the build team. And then as of 2019, myself and my partner Scott, we took full control of the haunt, which is awesome.
Nice.
The circumstances that happened are unfortunate, and it is very sad, but we gained control of it. And last year, 2020, was our first official year. And of course, the stress of running a haunt, hiring, building it, designing it, but then facing COVID, which was a task, because with or without promotion for Schmitts Farm Haunt, the haunt has established itself. It's been there for 20 plus years. During the day, it's a family friendly farm, pumpkin picking, kids blow up, face painting, animal farm. So it's known. So without even pre-sale tickets online and time ticketing, we get massive crowds. That's just the way it is. I'm not here to say who does better numbers. We all do great numbers, but it's like, people will show up, they want to buy the tickets last minute. So our opening weekend with COVID, even though we advertise, time slots, time ticketing, those people just show up. So our first weekend, we had our normal mob of people show up, which we weren't prepared for. We were understaffed as far as front of house to deal with the mob of people. So of course you had one or two Karens there online with their phones, taking pictures, posting like, oh, Schmitts Farm, did this wrong, and they weren't following protocol, which we were, but it was just everybody showed up and we had to turn people away and just at the right moment. So we took that entire week to fine tune not only the stuff on site, but on our social media with our social media team saying, listen, unfortunately, you guys just can't show up and buy tickets. Like, that's just not an option.
Right.
Buy tickets, get your time slot, come. They'll be 6 feet apart, spacing online. There will be longer wait times, which we got a lot of complaints about. But at the same time, what are you going to do? We have to be safe.
Right.
So we had to deal with that. And then we were dealing with our makeup artist, Katrina, who is a super talented makeup artist. She was a teacher at the Mud Institute, which is a really big school in the city. She's worked on some really cool like indie movies. So we sat with her and we were like, all right, how are we going to make our characters COVID safe, but when these people walk into a haunted house, the patrons, they don't feel like they're in a pandemic. I just don't want, regular COVID masks, the surgical mask with splattered blood, because that could work for our medical section, but it's not going to work throughout the haunt. So we were trying different, different things with the mask, with different products on it. We were getting regular latex masks and cutting them in half, sewing the fabric on the inside, just something like for the clowns. This way, it still gave a good show. We didn't water down the show. You didn't walk through a haunt and everybody was just in, surgical masks because they were trying to stay safe.
Yeah.
So it's just like that was a big task for us, making sure everything was COVID safe. The sterilization, even the rooms, we made everything bigger. This way they can still get their scare, but obviously they can't get close. We aren't a full contact haunt, but we say get as close as possible. Get disgustingly close. That's what we would tell our actors on a non-pandemic year. You know what I'm saying? Like, before you go in your room, go take a bite of an onion. This way your breath stinks. This way, when you get really close to that person and you're breathing in their face, it's just another step of your character. Go take a bite of garlic. This way your breath stinks. So unfortunately, this year it was more like, get your scare, but you can't get close. Don't break that uncomfortable bubble like you normally would. So we faced a lot of challenges, but we got through the season. Our numbers were good. They weren't great, but we still had a very good season. So we're hoping for this season, fingers crossed, that it's a little bit looser as far as the rules and regulations, but we're still going to do things for safety, just for the safety of our actors and our guests. That's just the way it is.
Yeah. We even as a patron, we still do everything we can to control our environment. Yeah. Like, we went to, like we were talking about earlier on the pre-show, we did 30 haunts in 2020, and
Amazing.
We saw so many different haunts had different rules, but that didn't affect our approach to
exactly.
it.
We still wear our masks, so
some haunts we actually wore gloves.
Yeah.
When you're going to touch stuff or have to climb stuff or whatever. So that's awesome. I got a question about this ghost ride in the middle there with all the nails coming out of it. Does it come like that?
Nope. That is I believe that's Mindy. I believe that's a Mindy mold. And I can't see the Facebook comments, but correct me if I'm wrong, if anybody is familiar with Ghost Ride. But that body we've had that for quite some time, and she wasn't bloody at all. She was more just laying like super scared.
She's the one that you always.
That's a very familiar body.
Yeah, she's the one that you always like. Is that a real person? Because it's done
exactly.
so well.
Because it looks so real. Yeah.
If you set her up just right, you're like, holy shit, like that looked real. So I kind of gave her a facelift. I dirtied her up. I put the big nails in her, the blood. I put some duct tape on her mouth, and she fit great.
So does that void the warranty?
Yes, absolutely. But I'll tell you, I tagged Ghost Ride in it, and they liked it. They were like, wow, that's pretty unique. So I Ghost Ride is one of my favorite companies. I love everything they do. I also like to step out of the comfort zone and kind of play around with some of the older bodies, giving them a facelift. So that was just kind of an idea. I was just like, it fit the slaughter room that it was in, kind of the torture slaughter kind of little scene. So yeah, that only took me a couple hours. I used a couple of different blood sauces on her, some dirt and grime spray, and it turned out great. No biggie. Here's one of my fat hairless cats.
Aww.
Yeah, this is Bagel, aka I call her Piglet because she's a big fat cat. But she just tried to walk across my keyboard, and yeah, we can't do that right now.
Aww.
Say hi.
Cute.
Okay, go ahead.
Good old naked cats.
Naked cats.
Yeah,
yep.
and actually in the left-hand corner, that's a Ghost Ride pumpkin, the girl coming out of it, and then to the left of that, those are the Ghost Ride rotted pumpkins, and that's just illuminated by a black light and some orange lighting, and yeah, it's amazing what lighting could do for a haunt. It's spectacular.
Oh yeah, make or break. Totally.
Absolutely.
Awesome. If you have any questions for Joey, put them in the chat here. I think. Okay, so we got some other images here. It looks like you got a Gorkalore. Is that a Gorkalore at the bottom left? Nice. So those big things that come out at you, mainly those come from a company called Gorkalore.
What is that?
It's like one of those big rat things.
Oh,
that's the rat beast head. That's not the actormatronic, that's the animatronic. It's on a big sled that goes back and forth. And actually the housing around it, that's a collapsible hallway. So
cool.
You walk through it and then it shifts from side to side, and it's a great effect, but it's very big and it takes up a lot of space. So we weren't going to use it last year. Last year was the first year that we got it, so we set it up as static and we housed that in it, and then I just lit that. That's not any kind of Photoshop. That lighting is literally I went to Lowe's and I bought a bunch of their colored floodlights, and I just the broken out panels and everything on the walls, that's already there from the hallway, the original design of the collapsible hallway. And I just added some foliage around and literally just took different colored lights and just put them in different ways. And the way it cut through a little bit of haze, I couldn't be more happier with the way it turned out.
Yeah. If make sure that you're following Schmitts Farm Haunt on Instagram. Please. Because it's the pictures are really, really good. As a matter of fact, before I forget, let's talk about your social medias. So, kissingcandice.com, Instagram.com/kissing_Candice, Twitter @kissingcandice, Facebook Facebook.com/kissingcandice, email kissingcandicellc@gmail.com. You can look them up on YouTube. Make sure you subscribe, like all the videos. They've got a really new, awesome video. Raise Her, I believe. Yep. And then make sure you follow Schmitts Farm Haunt. They're really easy to find on social media. That's where I got all these pictures from. I just stalked his social media and stalked the band's social media and Schmitts Farm. So make sure that you are following on all the socials there. And did I miss anything? All the people, Bill Mosley right there. I love Bill Mosley. I met Tom Savini once, but it was really awkward. I met him at a Spooky Empire, and I had just run out of money. I'm like he was sitting there. He had nobody like waiting in line to get his autograph, and I walked up to him. I'm like, can I just meet you? He's like, yeah, man, no problem. He is cool, but it was a little awkward.
Yeah, so. He's great. He's the best way I like to describe it is he's super genuine and he's very easy to talk to. If you put aside the fact of what he's done and who he is, you can hold a conversation for him and he will just tell you stories upon stories of, being on set and how they did certain things. And, after the second time I went to Pittsburgh and we did my mask fitting, he took me and Jason out to dinner and we were sitting there and, I don't want to fanboy. Right. I don't want to, want to ask him questions, but it just kind of, there were certain things that I just wanted to know.
Right.
And he just flat out would just talk about it. He did, just touching back on the haunt that he did. I forget the name of it. If you YouTube it, Tom Savini Haunted House, he did it. I think it was like 2 or 3 years in a row. Pretty good haunt. But he was like, he told me a couple of different things that I was like, huh. Like for instance, he had, a hallway that he put packing peanuts on the floor for a different texture on the floor. And I'm like, okay, that's kind of cool. I would never think to put like the foam packing peanuts, even though it would probably cause a mess and a slipping hazard. But just the fact that I could talk haunts with him,
Right.
you know,
That's
when he
cool.
was like, we would hang fishing line, you know, things that I've already known. But it was just cool just to hear him talk about haunted houses, not only makeup and movies and stuff. So he likes to talk. He's a really sick guy. And one thing I forgot to show you guys about my mask. So they did the silicone mask, and then I approached them probably at the end of December, and I'm like, could you guys do a pull of the bottom half of Aunt Donna in a resin mask and make it COVID compliant, mask compliant? So they did a run of Aunt Donna, official Aunt Donna COVID friendly, I call it mask compliant, and it's solid resin. It's made by Tom Savini and Jason Baker, and on the inside is Velcro, and it's got fabric that Velcro's in that you could take out and wash. And
Oh, that's cool.
yeah, they're really cool. They're all hand painted. I only did about, I want to say 20 or 30 of them. They come with a signed photo, a personalized note, a button, a sticker. But yeah, those you could check out. It's in the link in my bio on my Instagram. But yeah, we did these masks, and you know what? They came out super cool.
Yeah, they look really cool.
Yeah, they look awesome.
And you know, people are, you know, our fans are buying them, and they're doing some really creative stuff. They're you know, they're wearing them, and they're doing the top half of their face with contact lenses and wigs and different makeup, and it's just really cool to see like their vision of Aunt Donna, of what they can do with just, you know, the lower portion of the face.
That's cool.
But again, to be working side by side with, you know, Tom Savini and even Jason, you know, his mind too is great. He understood exactly what I was going for with the new Aunt Donna look. So, and he's good. And he did, you know, the Fiend from WWE, which the masks are ridiculous and they're evil. So, you know, definitely, again, if you guys in the chat don't know who Tom Savini is, you should probably know.
Yeah.
It's right. When you go to watch my show and you hit watch, it actually runs a check to make sure you know who Tom Savini is.
Yes, exactly.
And if you don't, it doesn't even let you in. It takes you to like carebears.com or something like that.
Yeah, exactly. Unicorns.com or something. So yeah. So, you know, masks again, I see CFX, amazing. They're great. They have some amazing designs for haunts. Immortal, amazing. I mean, they're next level. They got the mask now with the magnets where you could peel the skin off, and it's the zombie.
And the lights in the head.
Oh my god, it's so great.
Some crazy stuff.
So good.
Who knows where this is going to be a couple years from now?
The haunt industry is just pushing the envelope. Fright Props with their technology, you know, with you know, and companies like Poison Props and even Unit 70. They're amazing, and we went crazy this year. And I don't want to say numbers, but we ordered a ton of their stuff, and I cannot be more excited.
That's cool.
To dive into Unit 70. Yeah,
nice.
It's amazing. They'll be at the show. All the greats will be at the show. You guys will be at the show. I'm at the show. So.
Yeah. So everybody who's anybody will be at Transworld.
You gotta be there, of course.
Yes, absolutely.
One final question as we wrap this up, just real quick.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't do the elevator pitch.
We didn't do the elevator pitch.
God damn it!
Let's go pitch it.
You can,
That's fine. But as part of this, we got a question in the chat. How did you come up with the name Kissing Candice for the band?
Yes.
Okay, so the scaled down version of Kissing Candice. So high school. Let's rewind many years ago. I was in high school, and there was a girl named Candice, and she was your quintessential pretty girl, super smart, blonde, you know, just not over the top, like I want to be like the cheerleader clique, or I want to be the goth clique. She was just simple, just naturally pretty, really awesome. She was in our clique of friends. One night in 12th grade, I want to say, I'm sorry, 11th grade it was, at my buddy Paul's house. We were playing Spin the Bottle, and I got to kiss. What? I got to kiss Candice one time. It was just a quick, like, stupid peck on the lips, but oh my god, what what I thought was going to happen was we were going to end up together and she liked me. So fast forward through 11th grade, everybody's friends. Fast forward to 12th grade, where everybody kind of started going their separate ways and the clique started breaking up. Fast forward to a couple of years after that, you lose touch with everybody.
Right.
Fast forward even more to that, 2000. See, Kissing Candice was always an idea in the back of my head. I've been in many bands before that, and it was always a kind of a side project that I wanted to do, something heavily not mass, but horror themed. Theatrical themed, where it was just going to be me with a bunch of tracks, on stage and a bunch of props. Like, it was never going to be a serious thing because I was always in other bands. But the actual name of Kissing Candice, probably around 2000, maybe 2010, 2011-ish. I stumbled across her Facebook page, and the best way to put it was, she was like the poster board for your typical average American mom family. She just was, mom, haircut, drove a minivan, had 3 kids, a husband, a dog, a picket fence, just
she's like a realtor.
Just like regular job. That was her life. And in my head, it's like, this girl will never get divorced. This girl is never going to cheat on her husband. Like, I will never be with this girl, Candice. Like, my one shot with Candice, it was the only time that I kissed her in high school. So you take Kissing Candice, and that's where it came from. So it's
cool.
a real event. So the question that I always get till this day is, does she know about the band? And the answer is no. She does not know that
you're
this
not gonna
band,
anonymously send her one of your albums.
Here's my master plan, and it's going to go one of 2 ways. And now, if some of my friends from high school, because I don't really have many friends left from high school, but if they're watching and they know me, they'll know who it is. And don't say her name in the chat.
Okay.
The last name, you know what I'm saying? Just for purposes, please keep
spoilers.
that private.
Yeah.
Yes, but it's going to go two ways, and I just want to wait till the band is a little bit more famous, popping off, and I want to take a bunch of our merchandise, and I want to take our albums, and I want to go to her house, and I want to knock on her door, and I want to say, do you remember me from high school?
We got to have the mask on first.
Yeah. You gotta do it with the mask.
Well, yes, and I want
to take it off the grand reveal.
Yeah, if I show up to the house, I may get shot.
Yeah,
so with the mask on. So I want to show up, and I want to say, do you remember me? Do you remember? This might sound crazy, but we kissed in high school.
Aww.
And then I want to say, you have changed my life. So here's all my, here's some stuff that represent that time frame. And it's either going to go one of 2 ways. Either she's going to be like, wow, I remember you and this is great. Or she's going to call the police on me and I'm going to get arrested.
Shut the door in your face.
Goodbye.
That's awesome. I'm hoping to go with option A, that she's like, oh my God.
Go well, yeah.
And that's all. I don't want anything to do with her like that. I just want to say, here's some stuff. Because if it wasn't for that, I would have never had an idea for a band name, and it would have never gone to where we are now. So
awesome.
Thank you very much, Candice. We are not friends on Facebook, so you're probably not seeing this, but thank you.
Aww, that's so cool.
That's really cool, though. I like that. I like that inspiration. That's really cool.
It's a real story.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
But it's funny because she was not a goth chick. She wasn't a metal chick. So it's like, how the hell did you go from liking a chick like that to be inspiration for a horror metal mass band? You know what I'm saying? It's like, how?
People change, right?
Crazy things happen.
Yeah.
Oh man, we could go longer. We're gonna have you back on the show at some point, just strictly to
definitely,
talk about Ghostbusters and horror movies and all that stuff.
Because
we didn't even touch that, but we gotta wind this down. Thank you so much.
Joey.
Thank you.
Yep.
And
thank you.
I can't wait to see you at Transworld. Maybe what we'll do is we'll do like an impromptu little live stream at Transworld or something.
That would be awesome.
Yeah.
And everything, man. Yeah.
When are you guys getting in on Transworld? When are you coming?
Thursday, the 6th, May 6th.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm coming in on Tuesday to help my buddy. He's actually our social media guy. It's Conjured Media.
Okay.
He does all of our media stuff for the Haunt. He's a beast with the marketing and stuff. He's got a booth this year for the first year at Transworld.
Cool.
So I'm going 2 days early to set it up. It's called Conjured Media. Check him out. He's super smart with all the marketing stuff. So I'll be there, but maybe we can link up one of the nights and we can do like you said, like a kind of improv thing where we'll go and we'll hang out. Because, you know, at nighttime I mingle. I don't drink or anything like that. I show face at some parties and stuff, but I'm not a crazy partier. So maybe we can make it where one of the nights we can kind of sit down and just,
that'd be yeah.
You know,
we don't
maybe get some food.
I don't drink when we don't party. Yeah, we're good.
Maybe we'll get a pizza and we'll fucking just hang out and eat pizza.
As a matter of fact, that is set in stone. We're gonna have pizza with Joey.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Nice.
We'll reconnect.
I'm down.
Before then, and I'll let you know exactly my schedule. What nights, and we'll do an hour or so. We'll sit down and we'll just chit chat and eat some pizza.
Sounds good to me. Let's do it.
Perfect.
I like that. Cheers to that.
Cheers.
Awesome. Thank you, Joey. I'll be in touch.
Joey.
Hang out on Zoom for a few minutes, and I just got to wrap up my show, and we'll be right back with you, okay?
You got it. I'll be here. Thanks a lot.
Man.
See you guys later. Thanks for hanging out.
Oh, wow. That was an awesome show.
What an awesome show. That was so much
cool.
fun. I hope you guys enjoyed that.
I felt there was just so much like left over. We had questions. We didn't even ask the questions.
We didn't even ask the questions.
So all right. Well, we're going to wrap this up here. Thank you so much for watching tonight. Couple things that we need to talk about here. Obviously, going to thank our Patreon supporters, you know, fueling us here. Sarah Shepard, John Sebastian Lavelle, Sam Goodwin, the Photomancer. Thank you for supporting the show. Remember, if you support HauntScene, any money donated goes right back into the show to help us pay our bills, like our Zoom bills and our web hosting bills and all that. So, but yeah, we're going to get back into the 3D printing and the merch and all that stuff kind of soon. But we do got a couple previews here. On Thursday, we're going to do a show with Lady James from Corsets and Cuties. That's going to be awesome. We have all kinds of burlesque performer type stuff.
I won't be here.
I'm
so sad.
Melissa won't be here. I'll have a mystery co-host who I'm pretty excited about. That's going to be awesome. So that'll be on Thursday at 8 o'clock. Same bat time, same bat channel. Next Tuesday, pretty big show. We've got Michael and Jessica from the Grim Life Collective.
Good friends of ours. Really cool.
That's going to be awesome. Really excited about that. And that's going to be same time, 8 o'clock.
Awesome.
So
I will be there.
Love them, love their stuff. They have amazing
they're really
content.
Cool people, so
they're kind of like my YouTube idols. They're awesome. And last but not least, I always forget to do this, but follow us on all the things. If you're not following us, if you're a new fan, make sure that you go in here and follow HauntScene on everything. We literally have every type of account ever on social media. We have a MySpace page and a GeoCities website and an Angel Fire website. Do you know what any of those things are?
I don't know.
Okay, never mind.
I know MySpace, but
yeah. So Jenny's in the chat. I love you, Jenny. Jenny drinks. She said that she wants to be a part of it. She'll be there. And that's gonna be it for the show. So we're gonna go ahead and roll credits. And till next time.
Thank you again, as always.
Spook easy.
As always, happy hunting, guys. Have a good night. Bye.
Bye.
Give me some treats.